Well guys, it is here. The final day of the best work extravaganza from the Putnam crew. It is time for me to share with you guys my top 10 favorite movies of 2017. Now if you guys haven't already, please go check out my top 10 worst list. And if you guys already haven't done it, please watch the guys' best and worst films of the year. They were so much fun to put together and so much fun to film, and I had a blast with those guys. But at last now, it is time to share with you guys my favorite films of the year. Now before I go on, I must reiterate a few things. First thing is that I have not seen every single film that came out this year. So if you're wondering where a certain film is, it's most likely that I didn't get the chance to see it. And the second thing is that these are my personal picks. I understand that not everyone is going to agree with the films that I have on my list, hence my personal opinions. Now before we get into my top 10, I do have a few honorable mentions, films that didn't quite make the cut, but I love them anyways. Starting with Get Out, It, Beauty and the Beast, John Wick Chapter 2, Lego Batman, Spider-Man Homecoming, Wind River, Lady Bird, The Shape of Water, Raw, Detroit, and Coco. I loved every one of those films, but they didn't quite make it on my top 10. Now, with that being said, let's get into my top 10 favorite films of 2017. Get on!
Number 10.
Starting off the list is DC's best film since The Dark Knight. Yep, I'm going that far, and that is Wonder Woman. Now, I think we can all agree that before Wonder Woman, the DCU was in a bit of a rough patch to say the least. With Batman v Superman, then Suicide Squad, Wonder Woman had a lot of pressure on it and had a lot of risks to take, but thankfully this film succeeded in such spectacular fashion. This film was everything I wanted Wonder Woman to be. It was funny, it was inspirational, it was action-packed, it was heartfelt, and most of all, there were times where I felt like I was watching Richard Donner's Superman, just with Wonder Woman instead. Gal Gadot was amazing as she embodies the titular character, and Patty Jenkins knocks out the park. Cannot wait to see what she does with Wonder Woman 2.
Number 9.
I think that this is the first time that a Netflix movie has come onto my list, and you know what, good on Netflix, because my number 9 is also the best horror film of the year, Geralds Game. Mike Flanagan continues to prove himself as one of the best, if not the best director in the horror genre working today. Geralds Game is one of those horror films that is able to escalate itself from the horror genre, and itself being more than just a horror film. It's a psychological thriller, a captivity movie, a survival thriller, and a psychological drama. Geralds Game was scary as hell, and it was filled with tension to the brim, to the point where there wasn't a single moment in this movie in which I was neither biting my nails or gripping it on my skin. And we also have a performance from Carla Gugino that is more than Oscar-worthy, but I'm afraid it's going to be overlooked by the Academy. Nonetheless, I loved Gerald's Game and it scared the crap out of me.
Number 8.
Now I know at this point, I know most of you are saying this doesn't deserve to be in the top 10. Wait, no, go ahead and hate, because I absolutely loved Star Wars The Last Jedi. The most different Star Wars film from the rest of the pack, but yet it is still a Star Wars adventure at its very core. This film takes chances and it takes bold new directions, to which some have hated, and there are some chances in which, you know what, I have understood, but I love the chances and the directions that this movie took. While this movie is dark, there are moments of great humor in this movie that I could not get enough of. Mark Hamill giving his best performance as Luke Skywalker. And not to mention, this film has moments that are among some of the best of the Star Wars saga. I feel like Rian Johnson absolutely nailed it, and not only can I wait to see his original trilogy, but I cannot wait to see how this new trilogy concludes with Episode 9.
Number 7.
Next up, we have the coolest and most stylish movie of 2017, and that is Baby Driver. Ed Gray continues to knock out of the park with hit after hit after hit, and once again, Baby Driver is yet another film added to his already awesome filmography. The opening sequence is the best opening sequence of the year. The car chases are some of the best car chases I've ever seen. And not to mention strong performances from Ansel Elgort, John Hamm, Jamie Foxx. Not to mention, this film is hilarious and it has the best editing of the entire year, and like Carla Gugino, I feel like this is going to be overlooked at the Oscars, but if not, I will be thrilled. Not to mention, this film has one of the best soundtracks ever, and it is a soundtrack that I have in my car right now and I listen to it constantly.
Number 6.
I have two big thank yous to give out right now, and that's to James Franco and Seth Rogen for the best birthday present ever, The Disaster Artist. Now, Disaster Artist is one of the rare times I actually read the book, well, in this case, listened to the audiobook before seeing the movie, and my god, I'm so glad that I did. Now, while I did have a few nitpicks with this movie, it does not change the fact that Disaster Artist is one of my favorite films of 2017. This film could have been a mockery of Tommy Wiseau and could have been making fun of him because he made this movie and the journey of him making the movie. But instead, this movie was inspirational, it was fun, and it was a very heartfelt film about two friends that were shunned by the Hollywood system, and in the words of System of a Down, they said, fuck the system, made their own film, and because of it, it is one of the most talked about films to this day. Not only does James Franco deserve a Best Actor nomination for this film, also with the screenplay, but I had the best time at the theaters watching The Disaster Artist.
Number 5.
At number 5, we have the send-off of my favorite comic character of all time, and that is Logan. I consider this movie the newest Dark Knight of comic book films, where The Dark Knight was more of a crime thriller, this film is more of a western instead of the superhero genre. Hugh Jackman and Patrick Stewart give their best performances ever, and with an amazing knockout breakout performance from Daphne Keane as X-23, and it also has one of the best final shots in the comic book movie that I've ever seen. And thank you, Hugh Jackman, for giving yourself to Wolverine for 17 years. It's been a pleasure seeing you grow as Wolverine.
Number 4.
Coming in at number 4 is Christopher Nolan's latest masterpiece that also happens to be the best World War II movie since Saving Private Ryan. That's Dunkirk. Now, I know that Lucas and Alex mentioned that Dunkirk is memorable characters. That's not one of the reasons why I remember Dunkirk so well. I remember Dunkirk because it is such a bravado and visual storytelling. What Christopher Nolan did so spectacularly was making you feel like as if you're in the heat of the battle. Whether you're on the beach or on the sea or in the air with Tom Hardy, this film did such an amazing job of making you feel like you were in that battle with those soldiers trying to survive. I feel as if it is Christopher Nolan's time to win Best Director, and also not to mention, Harry Styles, good job for your first role.
Number 3.
There are certain Ryan directors that I always am ecstatic to see their work on this screen, whether it's Aaron Sorkin, Quentin Tarantino, or in this case, Martin McDonagh with 3 Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri. In my opinion, the best screenplay of 2017. This film, from beginning to end, and I have not said this about most films this year, was unpredictable. The twists and turns had me in shock and awe the entire time. Not many people can do dark comedy, but Martin McDonagh, it's second nature for him. And not only was this film not only a great drama, but it was the funniest comedy of the year. And like I said, dark comedy, hard to do, but Martin McDonagh had me laughing, roaring, in many spots throughout this film. Sam Rockwell and Frances McDormand give their career best performances, and I hope Frances McDormand wins because I have never seen her this good. Even since Fargo, she was never this good. My one flaw with 3 Billboards was that the film ended, because I had the absolute time of my life watching these characters trying to solve this murder mystery, and I couldn't get enough of it. Now, before I go on to my top 2 films, I just want to let you guys know that both of these films are amongst my favorite movies of all time. They're both 6 out of 5 movies for my rating scale. Now, that being said, let's get to number 2.
Number 2.
Coming at my number 2 spot is the best conclusion to one of the best film trilogies I have ever seen, and that is War for the Planet of the Apes. See, now, I walked into this film knowing almost absolutely nothing, and did I experience one of the greatest endings to a trilogy ever. Now, your conventional war. Now, I know a lot of people were complaining that the movie was titled War for the Planet of the Apes, so I imagine everyone was looking forward to just a big action scene going on. And while this movie doesn't really do that and instead focuses on a war going on with our central character Caesar, giving us, should I say, one of the greatest character studies I've seen recently in film history. This film was dark, but yet at the same time it has moments of just absolute beauty. And Andy Serkis gives his best performance as Caesar, and a performance that I am praying that the Academy will notice, because yes, I know it's motion capture, but it is still acting. And Andy Serkis has never been better, with also Woody Harrelson giving a villainous performance as the Colonel. And thank you, Matt Reeves, for delivering such a beautiful conclusion to one of the best trilogies of all time. You knocked it out the park. Cannot wait to see what you do with Batman.
It's number 1.
Alrighty, guys, here we are. My favorite movie of 2017, the film that hit me on every correct level, the film that gave me the most exhilaration in theaters, the film that resonated with me most emotionally, and the film that I could rewatch over and over and over again. And that film is Blade Runner 2049. Now, when it comes to certain classics, there are some that should not be touched, and admittedly, Blade Runner, the original film, shouldn't have been touched. Blade Runner 2049 should have been a film that failed. This movie honestly should have failed, and had it been in the wrong hands, this could have been the biggest cinematic disaster in the history of film. But thankfully, everyone behind it made this artistic masterpiece. No film, not even Apes for me, even though it is one of my favorite films of all time, came close to giving me the experience that Blade Runner 2049 did to me this year. I have seen this film 4 times, and despite this film being almost 3 hours long, I cannot get enough of this movie. I'll probably have seen it a 5th time by the time this video goes up. With the orgasmic cinematography, and if Roger Deakins does not win Best Cinematography at the Oscars, I don't know what I'm gonna do. The pitch perfect sound, and one of the most absorbing and thrilling narratives I've experienced in years. The very first time I saw Blade Runner 2049, after it ended, I wanted to go up to the projectionist, and by the way, this was an IMAX. If you didn't see it in IMAX, oh, you were missing out. I wanted to go to the projectionist immediately and tell him, please re-roll that film. I want to experience that film right now. This is one of those films that is so jam-packed with details that I feel like I haven't gotten every single detail, despite the fact that I've seen this film 4 times. And not to mention, this film does such an amazing job with carrying over the themes of what it means to be human, religion, technology, and it does everything in spades. And this film has cemented my belief that Denis Villeneuve is not only one of the best directors working today, but he is one of the best filmmakers ever. This man has continued to knock out of the park, and Blade Runner 2049 cements his status as one of my favorite filmmakers ever. Denis Villeneuve and company have delivered not only one of the best sequels of all time, not only my favorite film of 2017, but also one of my favorite movies of all time. Alright guys, that's it. The extravaganza is now over. Those are my top 10 favorite films of 2017. Guys, thank you so much for watching everyone's videos. Shane's, Joe's, Lucas's, Alex's, and now my videos. We had such a blast filming and putting these things together for you guys. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you guys want to follow me on social media, I'm on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Twitch. I'm also on Snapchat. So if you guys want to follow me on any of those social media platforms, all the links and the usernames are in the description below. I hope you guys enjoyed the Best Works Extravaganza from the Putnam crew of 2017. If so, please hit that like button, share, and subscribe to see this again next year. If you guys want to see my worst films of the year, please click right here. And if you guys want to see Alex's best films of 2017, please click right here. And of course, until the next review, top 5 or whatever, I will see you guys next time. Have a happy new year, and I will see you guys in 2018.